In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at taking off and landing comparisons with different aspect ratios. So in this first video, we are going to be using an aspect ratio of 10 on the airplane, on the van's RVs, 10s, and you're going to note the takeoff distance and how long it takes the airplanes to take off. I repeated this 3 times, but this is just the video, and I'm just going to tell you the average takeoff distance for each one. So you can see it took quite a while for this takeoff, and it's quite a rocky takeoff as well. It's quite difficult to control the plane, but you can see there I've leveled it out, and the average was 1,750 feet distance takeoff. Now this is the second video. This is with the 20 aspect ratio of 20, and this already was a lot easier to control than the first one. This plane, still a bit rocky again with takeoff. However, it was a lot easier to get into the air, and you can see now I've already leveled out for flight, and I got an average of 553 feet for the distance. And now you'll see the graph that I used to find that. I had 3 other graphs similar to this to find this. Now we're moving on to the third video for aspect ratio of 30 for this plane, and you can see again the ease that I'm able to take off with the plane. For the aspect ratio of 30 plane, I was able to get an average of 572 feet, which is slightly higher than the previous. However, I think it's just due to different takeoff speeds and yeah. This is the fourth one then. This is the aspect ratio of 40. This plane was one of the much easier to take off, probably the easiest to take off. And it was very easy to level out as well. It was very easy to control. I got an average of 339 feet for for the 3 takeoffs that I recorded, and you'll see the graph again here. This is one of them, and yes, and then this is the final plane. This has an aspect ratio of 50. This was actually quite difficult to control because it is so big, because the wingspan and all is so big. However, it was nearly too easy of a takeoff, and for the for the distance, it was 226 feet averaged over the 3 takeoffs, and you'll see again the graph here to indicate that. So the second half of the lesson is the landings of the airplanes with different aspect ratios. We only tested the aspect ratio of 10 and the aspect ratio of 50 for this. So this first video is the aspect ratio of 50. Unfortunately, I was unable to get a second video for the aspect ratio of 10. So I do have, however, the graph that I got from one of the recordings. It just didn't process properly, and I have the I have the screenshot of the graph showing the distance traveled and the time it took for the landing, and I will show that at the end of this video. So you can see this landing, it was easy, it was controlled, the plane is very controllable with a higher aspect ratio, and the stability is amazing as well. Landed it with almost no trouble at all, bar the plane that was taking off at the same time on the runway. So I do apologise for that. But yes, this video, and then at the end I also have the graph to show the distance travelled and the time took for the landing, and I have the same for the aspect ratio of 10 plane.